Wellness for Life is brought to you by Perham Physical Therapy, Gothenburg Chiropractic Clinic, MAHUBE Ottawa Community Action Partnership, CHI St. Joseph's Health Weight Management Center, and Natural Alternatives.
Hi, my name is Ernest Hutta. I'm the founder and director of Natural Alternatives in Monaga, Minnesota. And together with the team of practitioners that we have here, Dr. Mark Wheaton, who's a sports medicine physician, Dr. Gothenburg, and Dr. Andrus, we all work together, helping affect with the synergy of these practitioners working together, help affect your healing and rejuvenation. Today, our little lesson is going to be on an issue that we really see in our clinic almost every single day, or at least many, many times a week. People coming in and complaining of chronic pain involving the forearm, wrist, and hand, and even down to a syndrome that is called carpal tunnel syndrome. So much so that people will be forced to have surgery if that inflammation and irritation around the nerve continues or exists and doesn't go away. Well, why do people have it? Well, the chiropractic world and the physical rehab world have demonstrated that there are issues that can involve the neck and upper back, even entrapment shoulders involving the shoulder, entrapment issues involving the shoulder that can affect it, and all the way down to the elbow, the same thing. But what we find in our clinic is a group of two muscles that are really key to grip strength in the human body. So in the forearm, you have, with the palm facing down, you have a group of muscles that are called the wrist extensors. And then with the palm facing up, you have a set of muscles that are called wrist flexors. So these muscle groups control grip strength. And so now, if you just give me a little contraction here, squeeze for me, please. This muscle group right now, 70% of almost all grip strength is created between the thumb and index finger, and this muscle group right here really takes a beating. Repetitive use syndrome is really common for people, and they don't realize that, in fact, that's what the human body is designed to do. Muscles are designed for repetitive motion. But if you injure a muscle, now the repetitive motion ends up constantly aggravating it. And so in our clinic, our goal is to restore the function of the muscle. We use a very powerful tool called an electroacuoscope, which is intended and designed to hyperstimulate ATP production. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. And in the human body, ATP is needed for the regeneration of all cell structures. And so this electroacuoscope has the ability and the capacity to hyperstimulate that in a very, very powerful way. So what I'm going to do, I have current set up so that it's actually drawing from both ends of the muscle. I'm taking the tendofascial attachments above the bone and down into the wrist, and I'm going to go in and actually start probing this entire muscle group, because there's a lot of muscle involved here that is impacting the strength and grip of her thumb and index finger. Again, remembering 70% of the power generating your forearm, the ability to squeeze and grip, is coming from that phalange or fingers of the hand. So again, we're going to go in and try to see if we can break down the scar tissue and adhesions or chronic issues that are in a forearm that are causing a person to have tendonitis, very common, driven from the tennis world, but in fact it's a lay term that affects almost all people in all walks of life. Whether you're a carpenter or you're a person who does repetitive work in a mill or a shop, anywhere, doing knitting, so on and so forth, can really aggravate this muscle group. So our goal is to go in and break down the adhesions, get this area to start repairing or regenerating. And again, what we're doing is stimulating ATP production. This is the basic structure of the body's repair components. So if you're suffering with these kind of issues and have not found help and relief elsewhere, our goal, come on up and see us in Natural Alternatives, and our goal is to help you recover and regenerate, get your body back, get yourself out of pain, and maybe even hopefully prevent having to go through some major reconstructive surgeries to try to address the inflammation. So again, Natural Alternatives, go to the web, naturalalternatives.com. That's natural with the E at the end of it. At our website, we have some videos that'll help you understand a little bit more about what we do here and how we can help you. Welcome.
Coming up on Wellness for Life.
Hi, and welcome back to Wellness for Life. We are here at MAHUBE Ottawa, and today Cal Mayfield joins me. Hi, Cal.
Hello, Amy.
Thanks so much for being on our show. And today you are here to talk about Weatherization Department. And it's been, I know Dave Auney, you said, had interviewed you in the past, so it's probably been a couple years since you've been on our program to talk about this. Yes. Sure. So kind of tell us a little bit about, you've been in the Weatherization Department here for many years, and kind of tell us, for people that aren't familiar with it, what you do.
What the Weatherization program does is we we work with contractors and clients to get the most energy-saving work done on their home, and then from that point, we go in once they qualify, and typically there are 3 criteria that they have to meet before we can even go out to visit the home. The first is they have to have an approved application, an energy assistance application, means they qualify for fuel assistance. Second is they need to have proof of ownership.
Okay.
And the third is they have to be considered a high consumer, a high fuel consumption. So Commerce believes that by targeting homes that use the most fuel, we'll save the most fuel for the energy saving people, and Commerce as far as paying out for fuel assistance. So
sure.
And Commerce has a list of what they consider high fuel consumption. And when the homeowner, the client, fills out their application, they provide those numbers, and we have that on the file that we can compare that to what Commerce lists. And
sure.
Then from that point, we can go out and do an energy audit.
Sure, sure. You were kind enough to provide me with kind of a list of some of the frequently asked questions with your department. And first, let's kind of back up a little bit and talk about what areas in Minnesota that MAHUBE, what services are covered in what areas?
We do Monoman County, Hubbard, Becker, Otter Tail, Wadena, and the western half of Polk County.
Okay.
And it's for low-income people in those areas.
Sure, sure. And then do you know how much is spent on weatherization in Minnesota, approximately?
I've just read one report this morning where it's well over $7 million.
Wow.
There are 2 big grants. One is the DOE, which is federal, and they're both, and another is EPWIX, which is also federal money that goes through Commerce, and then they allocate it to agencies throughout the state.
Okay, okay, sure. And then I know you talked a little bit about this, but can anyone have their home? I know you said there's kind of a process for the weatherization.
Well, like I said, first of all, they'd have to have an approved fuel assistance application, meaning they would have had to have qualified for fuel assistance. And so in order to qualify for fuel assistance, you have to be a low-income family.
Okay.
And the state has guidelines for that also.
Sure.
For some reason, that list has gone down this year. We're down probably 6% of what we have been in the past. I don't know if it's because of the lower fuel prices and the homeowners haven't applied, but the years when propane was high, we actually had to apply for more money. So.
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure. Now, if a household qualifies, can they get their windows replaced? I'm sure that's a common question that you get.
Yes, that is the main question. We have even people who haven't been on fuel assistance call about getting assistance or grants to help replace their windows. Most homeowners feel that that's the biggest heat loss.
Yeah.
And we, our auditors, staff at MAHUBE, and our contractors have specialized equipment where we go in and do an energy audit, and then that information is brought back, and Commerce actually has a software program where we put that information in, and it's determined by that program, that computer program, if they qualify to have the windows. It actually prioritizes the work to be done. And
oh, nice.
If, like you were talking earlier, if the door or window is too expensive, there's not what's called a savings to investment ratio, where it can pay for itself in usually 10 years for the amount of energy you conserve.
Sure.
So that's a big priority. Is, well, I mean, that's why they're here, is to save energy.
Right. Yes. Well, Cal, if anyone has any questions about the weatherization department, I'm sure they can contact you here at MAHUBE. If you could please share your contact information, that would be great.
The phone number here is 218-847-1385.
Perfect, and thank you so much for joining us today on Wellness for Life.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Thank you for watching Wellness for Life. Brought to you by Perham Physical Therapy, Gothenburg Chiropractic Clinic, MAHUBE Ottawa Community Action Partnership, CHI St. Joseph's Health Weight Management Center, and Natural Alternatives.